It's gonna be. There we go. There we go.
Bam. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I'm your host, A.D. Walker. Appreciate you guys for being here. As you can see, we have a special guest in the building.
Yo, yo,
Um,
yo, yo, yo.
this is honestly going to be an amazing conversation. So we're going to cut through our foolishness real quick, and I'm not going to talk long. Don't say nothing, Kadeem. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Donald
Um,
Trump still on trial.
so I know he's on a small hiatus. We'll talk about that next week. Some of the shifts and changes that will be made at Brothers of Legacy. I got to talk to my brothers first, just so they know what's going down. So make sure you are sharing. Sharing is caring. We already see Mama Corey in the building. Great morning to you, Lisa in the building. Good morning. Thank you for sharing as always. So do like them. Sharing is caring. So we're gonna go ahead and kick this intro off. Talk about anything that we've missed throughout the week, and then get into our guest, Mr. Philia McLennan, in
Oh,
the
yeah.
building. Say it with chest. All right. Yes, indeed, Lisa. We are back. We are back. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hold on 1 second. Un momento, por favor. And bam.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Boom. Good morning. Good morning again. Welcome. Podcast people, welcome. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. So just real quick, I know we've been off a week. Any special things happening? It's Freestyle Friday, as always. I just want to point out your boy has been silent. There's no indictments and no one's in jail right now.
Come on, man. Come on. They've been talking about him all week. You just ain't been paying attention to the right station.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's
Man,
all that is.
Only thing I see about that is why is his number still going up?
Man, I don't know. Hey, he's supposed to have a town hall meeting. Donald
24.
Trump is supposed to have a town hall meeting on CNN. Now, who coerced him to do that? That's what I want to know.
CNN, huh?
On CNN. I was surprised.
Oh, okay.
I was surprised. I was just shocked. Like, he don't even fool. The way he be talking about CNN, who would have thunk it?
Yeah,
It's all about attention. It's all about attention.
I just don't get it. He's like, I don't know. He's the opposite of whatever you think.
Yeah.
Literally playing Jedi mind tricks with everybody.
Yeah, he do, and the way he tripping about Joe Biden not going to the coronation for the Prince. I'm sorry, King Charles. Now, I'm like, why is that such a big deal? Like, they don't like you no way. You probably wouldn't have got invited anyhow.
So
I mean, along the lines of that,
Yeah.
there's the big conversation happening where they're worried about Joe Biden's age, and so now
I'm
scrutiny
worried
is
too.
on Kamala Harris, and so that's pretty interesting how we talk about ageism, racism, all these other isms, and then now there's going to be this more scrutiny on the vice president, more scrutiny than ever on the vice president. And it's kind of interesting how just the way this country's set up, it's kind of like Kevin Hart's bank account, the way my bank account set up.
But seriously, I was saying, do you think that if Biden does not run, that Kamala got even a chance of even giving the nomination? Not winning, but even being nominated.
possibly.
You think so?
Possibly.
I don't think she got a chance, man. I mean, she ain't got that wind behind her that's pushing her like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as public, I guess likability. She, but I ain't seen no polls yet.
Yeah.
But I just don't see her just, you know what I'm saying, sweeping through and getting the nomination. I think they would give it to somebody else.
Yeah. So in my opinion, and this is just strictly based upon the last 3 years, you haven't heard enough from her.
Right.
Yeah.
She's had a position. She's had a
true.
dominating position.
Yeah.
Or dominant position. I'm sorry. In in this administration, and you really haven't heard much from her. Yeah. You haven't heard anything that she's really done. Now, again, she might be doing a whole lot.
Right.
But it's all behind the scenes. You don't get a chance to hear nothing.
She's not standing out with it. Yeah.
That's kind of like when people talk about an athlete or an entertainer or somebody, and they're like, this person is a terrible person, but behind the scenes they're doing all this great work, right? You don't hear about
it. You don't see it. Yeah.
And that could be her, but I don't know because I ain't heard nothing.
Right. Yes. So we'll see how that pans out. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm hopeful. Sam says I don't think so. He said they already attacked her for no reason. So we'll see how it goes down. We'll see what happens. It's a kind of different situation. I guess we've never lived through this, with president getting, old enough to like, you know what, I don't need a second term.
Yeah, but he already the oldest president in history right now. Right. Right. So for him to go another 4 years, what is he, 84? 80?
I don't know how the dude is, but
he 80 something. I know that part.
I'll say this. The 2-term presidents that we've seen, the first terms, they usually still keep the way they look a little bit. Second term, they be gray and they come out looking much older. And that second term,
George W was like that too.
Yeah, all of them.
George W came in there with black hair.
Right.
He didn't leave with black. He didn't leave with black hair though.
That dude was tired. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
But that seems like the 2-term presidents. That's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was a 1-termer, so you can see his orange hair still. He still had the same look.
The closest one that came kind of like how they came and left similar.
Yeah.
Was your boy Clinton?
He even had old. He looked older a little bit though, because he had to go through. He had to defend himself.
Right.
on multiple occasions.
Right. All right. So we're gonna shift. I'm gonna get the inventor, Defilia McClennan, in the building, and we're gonna talk about how she got into what she does, the current product she has that's selling in Walmart. So it's not just some small time inventor. And listen, we're gonna talk about McDonald's and her connection that I just found out about. So me and my fascination with the McDonald brand. So I'm telling. Let me just pull it up, and I'm telling you, like, I watched the movie Founder. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. I talked about Ray Kroc. And it's just the story just really intrigued me even more. Like, one, the fact that McDonald's been around so long and they're still like a fast food leader. They're not like number 10. They like, if anything, they're between 1 and 3. I know Chick-fil-A kind of killing it, but in terms of money, I'm sure McDonald's probably still number 1 as far as revenue.
Yeah, globally. Yeah,
globally, because they're a bigger brand and they're still, killing the game. So just the whole, I know McDonald's not the healthiest, but their system is just still so impressive. All right. So I'm gonna cut down on the talking. I want to hear how Miss Defilia, Auntie, let's just Auntie.
What up, Auntie? What up, Auntie?
Got into this amazing world of inventing and everything that it entails, and going back to the McDonald's days and dealing with the suppliers. So we're not just talking about her working in the restaurant. I'm talking about dealing with the folks that own these restaurants. And one of the owners, Black owner, am I correct?
That's correct.
Oh
30,
yeah. So Auntie, when you get into your story, Auntie, if you could give them a little backstory from when you stopped working your W-2 and got into entrepreneurship.
Okay. Oh, okay.
When
Okay.
you got into entrepreneurship.
All right.
The floor is yours, Auntie.
Floor is yours.
Give what you got, Auntie.
Oh, well, good morning, everyone. As far as me stopping my W-2 at the United States Postal Service,
Okay.
which I worked there for 25 years,
Wow.
it was a little voice in my head. I was on my way to work, and a little voice in my head said, pack your bags, you won't be back.
Wow.
And so I walked in, hit the clock, and I started cleaning out my desk. And my good friend, Mary Lindsay, she said, what are you doing? I said, well, today my last day. She said, are you a fool? She said, are you a fool? I said, whether I'm a fool or not, I'm not coming back. Today is my last day. And so I grew up with 13 brothers and sisters. So my mom was always selling something: boudin, cookie, cakes, pies, pralines. We had to be able to make it because my mom was a single mom with 13 children.
Right.
So we were always selling something. On Saturdays, we went in the neighborhood and we sold boudin. And so anybody who wanted a Saturday to sell, she would give us a Saturday. Anybody who didn't want their Saturday, I always signed up to take their Saturday because I wanted the money.
I know that's right.
So I've been selling a long time. However, when I left the Postal Service, I wanted to know how things worked. And a lot of times we just go and we buy stuff and we spend money and we do a lot of stuff, but very few of us give any thought, well, how did that product get on that shelf? Right. Who created it? How did it get here? Who funded it? And so when I left, I had a patent, a utility patent on a product that I call earmates. And we were trying to be a supplier to McDonald's. To make a long story short, the way McDonald's work, you have your local owners who must approve you to go to the district level,
okay,
who must approve you. And then you still got to be approved a third time at the regional level at McDonald's before you could get to corporate. Wow. So I was going back and forth to Atlanta, Georgia, Dallas, and everywhere doing trade shows, Kaneem and I. And McDonald's is a phenomenal company, especially for minorities. If you have anything that they can use and, be a supplier, and you work with it's called the Black McDonald's Association. They have, each ethnic group have their own organization. So here in Houston, it was Carol Oliver. In Dallas, it was Roland Parrish. And in Atlanta, Georgia, it was, I can't remember their name. It was a couple. So you have to, convince all these people that you could do it. And we sold earmates, which is a disposable headset cover to go over the foam cushion of the headsets that they use through the drive-through. So when they would change shifts, they would take off that little disposable cover like a glove and put on a new headset cover for each user. Right. And we did that for years. However, that was a niche product. So when we traveled to McDonald's, is a phenomenal company. And we were invited to be at the International Vendors Conference in Orlando, Florida. And we were staying at the Crown Plaza Hotel. Nice. And so for a whole week, it's amazing. And but we didn't have anywhere to put our toothbrushes at the time. And so we was having to run out and get toothbrushes, because we didn't want to leave them in the bathroom. Right. And that was in 2006. Okay. And I kept saying, well, they have toothbrush holders on the market, but they don't have anything where you could travel you could store your toothbrush and have your toothbrush dry. That was in 2006. So in 2009, I kept saying, it's got to be something on the market. Actually, it was not anything on the market. So then I started working on it in 2009. And so how I made my prototypes, I was going to Lowe's, Home Depot, and Hobby Lobby, and just, buying parts and putting them together. They were real rough. And so after I kind of had a CAD drawing done, and it just looked like I could have did that myself, like a sixth grader did it.
Okay.
Kaneem's mom, Pam, told me, I think I paid $750 for it. Pam told me, she said, Fee, lose that guy. If he charged you $750 for this, he's just going to milk you. So whatever Pam told me, I figured it sounded good to me. Whatever she would tell me, because she wouldn't tell me no foolishness.
Right.
So, we got the basic little drawing, the basic little model. And then the way China works, 50% of the companies in China are mom and pop and fakes.
40% mom and pop and fakes.
The reason, because you could post anything on the web.
Okay. Right.
It doesn't mean it exists.
Right.
And so the other 40, in other words, you have about 10 to 15 factories that can produce products. You got some that's going to take your money and start. And so we sent the little sketch and a picture of what we were trying to accomplish to a couple of people who had posted on the web. And it's called Made in China. That's where you go for every product for looking for a factory. It's called Made in China. So we Googled Made in China. Somebody told me that. And we picked a couple of people. A couple of factories we thought were factories. They were not factories. They were engineers who posted on the site. However, lucky for us, he sent back something that we could build upon. We got burned twice with dealing with China.
Right.
So from 2009 to 2013, we were still trying to get something formed. Right. And so by 2011, we applied for the patent.
Okay.
And so we were issued the patent in 2013. Nice. Now, let me back up a little.
Yes.
You do not need a working prototype as of today. As a matter of fact, if you have any ideas or anything written or drawn or sketch, you can apply for what they call a provisional patent. And you can do this on your own. You could go to the USPTO, go under provisional patent, and upload your stuff, pay your fee. What a provisional patent does, it buys you time to get the nuts and bolts done on your product. So say you got an idea that you just like, this the greatest thing since popcorn.
Right.
And you don't have money for a patent attorney. Right. You could go in and apply for a provisional patent, have the meat and potatoes in the drawings and the mechanics, and you have time to work out the other kinks. That's probably one of the best ways. And you don't need a patent attorney. You don't need anybody to do this. You could do this yourself. Everybody want to pay everybody, but some things you just got to do yourself. And you can do a provisional patent on your own if you have all your stuff laid out before you start applying for the provisional patent. Okay. And so we got the patent in 2013. So I'm thinking, we got a utility patent. We got a good deal, all of this. The goal was to license this patent out.
Right.
Well, long story short, less than 5% of all issued patents make it on the market. Less than 5%. And most of the patents issued or to large corporations like IBM, Exxon, Dell, the big companies.
Right.
So a small company like me, we just don't. The odds are really long.
Okay.
However, I was broke anyway, so I said to myself, "I'm gonna be
That's
broke."
deep right there. That was deep right there. But go ahead.
In other
Anyway.
words, I
That's
said to
good.
myself, I'm gonna be broke if I stop, so I may as
Right.
well be broke and keep going. That's the way I looked at it.
I
Broke
love
is
that.
broke.
Right.
So
Right.
broke is broke. So I kept going and going and going, and so we got some prototypes done in China in 2014. They were functioning, but they kept breaking. And I said,
Right.
okay, well, at least we have the concept, a working prototype, something we could work with.
Right.
And so after we got burned the second time,
Okay.
and I was unable to get Colgate, Palmolive,
Wow.
P&G, or Philips Sonicare to
Yeah.
license it,
Okay.
I had to keep going. I was broke, so I had to keep going. Shit,
Right.
broke is broke. And so we had been trying to get invited to the Consumer Electronics Show that's held every year in Las Vegas. I don't know if anybody, but all upcoming and new consumer products, electronic products, they are shown at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas the first or second week in January. And so somebody bowed out because we had been trying for years to get invited. They kept saying no, no, no. However, somebody bowed out in 2018, and they called us up and they asked us, they said, well, do you want to come to the Consumer Electronics Show? We have one slot available. Well, of course, we jumped at the chance to go to the Consumer Electronics Show, which they place all small and upcoming inventions and companies in a section that they call Eureka Park.
Okay.
So we were in Eureka Park. Now this show normally before the pandemic, anywhere from 250,000 to 280,000 people in 1 week.
Wow.
And that's how many people go to this particular event every year.
Right.
And so we were in Eureka Park. Our prototype was about to fall apart, but we kept putting it back together. We kept putting it back together. We literally kept putting the thing back together. And so we met the PG people, the Colgate Palmolive people.
Okay.
But the one person that we met that was probably the most important was the director of Walmart in California.
Okay.
And he said, I like your product.
Okay.
He said, I don't like the packaging.
Okay.
He said, but I'm gonna give you my card and I want you to call, Walmart and tell them you met me.
Okay.
And so he said, just do what I tell you to do. And we did. I did.
Right.
And so Walmart, they was going like, no, they kept turning me down. And then I said, I called his name, the director of Walmart, and they called me back immediately. They say, oh, Miss McClellan, we like your product. I was going like, yeah, right. I just been trying for the last 3 years.
Right.
All of a sudden, you turn me down for 4 times already. But I say, this is good. So in 2019, before the pandemic, we sent that little broke prototype to Walmart. It was falling apart. It was really falling apart. However, we had new packaging. And we really did get some really cool packaging.
Nice.
And so Walmart has sent, and you have to be prepared. I basically work alone, and everything I do, I freelance the CAD, I freelance the packaging, I freelance the prototype. I just freelanced everything because, I don't have a team that I've been able to build.
Okay.
And you gotta have a team, just so you can go out and do free some of your time up to do other things.
Right.
Well, so far as of today, I still have not been able to build a team, because when you go to look for investors or want investors,
Right.
they want to know, well, where your team? You know, one is a lonely number.
Right. Indeed.
One is a lonely number. So,
Yeah.
you know, and it makes good sense. So if you have a team, you can stop talking to yourself and to the computer, and
Right.
they can bounce ideas off us, and hopefully your team got more sense than you, and they don't have foolishness. So you can you learn from each other. Bottom
Right.
line, you guys learn. Everybody learn from other people. And so that was 2019. But what Walmart did, they sent us what they call a new item submission forms.
Okay. Okay.
And so when you fill out these forms, it's called new item submissions. You tell them what you can do, when you can do it,
Okay.
and when you're going to deliver this product. That was in 2019. So Sean and I went to, Sean is my daughter, we went to China December 2019.
Right.
When we came back in January 2020, the pandemic had hit. And so we was just like we was going like, oh man, it was like everything stopped for us. You know, China shut down, so we couldn't,
Right.
there was no movement in China for about 18 months.
Wow.
And but you know what? That worked good for us because
Okay. Give you time.
it gave us a lot of time
Okay.
on the new item submission form, which the product was supposed to be placed in the stores. It was just no way we had those capabilities. We didn't even have a factory at the time who could produce a high quality product.
Right.
So everything, timing is everything, but the COVID worked for us.
Okay.
You know, the pandemic worked for us. It gave us a chance to regroup, fine tune the product, the packaging and everything, hire an electrical and computer engineer to do the PC board because the holder has a computer in it.
Okay.
And so we regrouped. And so
Let me ask you a question, Auntie.
I'm listening.
During those 18 months of when you was trying to tinker with your packaging,
Uh-huh.
and did you have any artistic input on the packaging, or did you leave it all up to a professional consultant?
I left it all up to the professional graphic designer.
Okay.
Now I've supplied the wording, and she did the design. And Score, a lot of people don't know about Score.
We had them on here. Yeah.
Score helped me extensively with the wording that was legal to go on the packaging. So after Score, I spent like 7 years just going back and forth with Score. And when you don't have any real resources, you need to use all the free available resources.
Right.
In other words, and so
Now Score, for those that don't know, is affiliated with the Small Business Administration, correct?
that's correct. They are all retired business executive volunteers. So if you need somebody in marketing, they'll find you somebody in marketing. Somebody like the lady in marketing, she created the survey for us to go out and talk to people. So we went out and we surveyed 101 live people in Houston and surrounding areas. But she created the survey and then she put it in the Excel spreadsheet, and she told us, you know, what's the possibility of people buying this product. And believe it or not, 76% of the people surveyed said they were more than likely to buy a toothbrush holder, an individual toothbrush holder.
Oh,
So
wow.
we went out and we put our time in. However, we had a complete score team working with us, like the
Okay.
cash flow projections, they'll do some of it for you, but
Right.
I eventually had to hire a CPA to do the cash flow projection,
Okay.
because when you go out and you want to raise money, they want to know, well, how much money I'm gonna make. Everybody
Right.
just want to know what's in it for me. What's in it for me. So
Right.
we finally got the product. I mean, we kept getting prototypes back and forth with China until we got some pretty. Nephew, I'm gonna have to send you one. I'm gonna have to send all of you out. I'll send every last one on this panel a holder. And so
Okay.
we got the holder is really nice. And my thinking is my product must look just like Coca-Cola, Oral-B, Procter and Gamble. I don't get a pass because I'm a minority.
There you go.
My
That's
product
good.
has to be of the highest quality because I am a minority. And my product is what they call hardware. So I'm in the hardware category. And 70% of software goes into 30% of the hardware. So I'm in the hardware section of things. And so, we got everything approved finally after a long,
Right.
long time with the Walmart safety department, because we have a lithium battery, a rechargeable lithium battery in this holder. And so it has to go through Walmart safety compliance
So,
department.
just for clarification, explain exactly what the holder does. I'm gonna show a picture of it. This is the current product online. And let me know if
Did
I
you go
got
to
it.
walmart.com and type
Uh-huh.
in, oh, did you see it? With
Yeah,
the nice
I
pictures
got
and
it.
everything. I'm excited. Look at me. I get excited quick. I'm old, but I get excited quick. I'm telling you, my kids don't like it. Calm down, mama. Calm down.
That's
Kadeem, you
it.
know those three knuckleheads.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm excited for you, Auntie.
And so what the holder does, it protects the toothbrush from airborne germs and bacteria. And a lot of times when you go in the bathroom, most people have their toothbrush open in a cup in the bathroom. And what happens is every time you flush that toilet, you get a spray from the toilet, from everything that's in the toilet or been left in the toilet or whatever. But the bathroom is one of the most moist areas in the home. So even if nobody's in there, you have your face bowl, you have water splatter, you have people combing their hair, you have little kids sneezing, playing with the toothbrush. So what the holder does, it eliminates cross contamination from your toothbrush touching mine. That's out.
Okay.
It it
Nice.
also a toothbrush must dry and stay dry every
Right.
day. So we put a huge fan in the top of that ball, but you can't see it, but it's extremely large. And so what the fan does, it sucks up all the water off the bristles on the toothbrush, and it dries the toothbrush. And so, and you could tap. It's a touch sensor. You touch the sensor, and this fan comes on, and it just start drying the toothbrush. So it won't be any moisture on that toothbrush when you get ready to use it. It's not open to fecal matter landing on it, from a toilet flush. It's not open to somebody walking in the bathroom and shaking your toothbrush on excess water onto your toothbrush, because every time you do it, you just contaminate everything, every toothbrush in the holder.
Right.
So, but what makes our toothbrush, it's a toothbrush holder, is portable. And so by it being portable, it could travel with you. And it has a rechargeable lithium ion battery in the top of it. And so one charge will last about 3 days. So you're going to charge it like maybe 2.5 times a week. That's so we put a long lasting lithium battery in there, rechargeable.
So,
And
so
so,
Auntie, oh,
huh?
go ahead, 80.
I have thousands of questions. Go ahead, Thomas. You can go.
Now, I just got a couple questions. So, number one, well, by the way, great product.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does it work with electric toothbrushes? So I have an electric toothbrush. Can I just take my head off and put it in there and do the same thing?
You can right now. Now we're working with a retail broker. Let me tell you, when you're working, and I'm not complaining. God is good to me because I never thought I would get to this point, to tell you the truth.
Right.
But God. So we were going to have an attachment that sits in the middle of that white ring for the electronic toothbrush holders. And so that would be on the next round of production. That would be the only thing that we would add to what we are currently doing. Because when we did our research, I think, hold on, let me give you accurate numbers. I don't even want to guess.
Okay, she got the numbers. And I just want to say, by the way, everybody, if you're looking to invent something, do something, you see it's not an overnight process.
Right.
There's knowing what you got to know and doing what you got to do. And I love this, just the process of
131 million people here in America, and we're just talking about America, use electronic toothbrush holders. And so we'll make that adjustment on the second production. You know, we were just trying to make sure we had everything lined up correctly on the first production. Thank God everything came out good, except for that China debacle. That's a whole nother story.
Look, I'm gonna make it work though, because my little toothbrush tip will fall. I'll just take it off, put it in there or whatever. But the second thing, real quick, Candor Health is the name of your company, Candor Health Products.
Yes.
When did you come up with that name? Was it a part of your rebranding, or has it always been?
2011.
Okay.
Because when we was dealing with McDonald's, the old company, and you learn a lot from failure. Failure is good. Failure is good. Don't let anybody tell you it isn't. You learn from your mistakes. And so in 2009, we just didn't have the sales for the earmates. So we had to call the Internal Revenue and tell them that we had to shut this company down. So we had to shut Ash Manufacturing completely down, website and everything, phone numbers and everything. According to the Internal Revenue, we could never use that Ash Manufacturing or anything associated with that company. So I was going like, but Lord, I'm not that smart. I need something, because Ash stands for my kids' name, Asia, Sean, and Haley. That's what the ASH is. Asia, Sean, Lazy, Daisy, and Crazy is what I call them. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But that's the Ash, Asia, Sean, and Haley. So we had to shut that company down. So I was, we want to be as transparent and honest with everybody that we work with, deal with, and be around. And so the name Candor came to me. I don't know why, but it just came to me. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go with Candor Health Products. And so that's how we got it, because, Candor, you just want to be transparent and honest.
Right.
Even if I'm broke, I still want to be honest. It's not going to cost me.
That's good.
I'm not going to make any more money not being honest. It's not going to benefit me any. And so, but we got the first shipment. After we got the shipment in, we just got cleared to be on the Walmart site 3 weeks ago. Because we had
Congratulations.
Right. Thank you. Because it has a lithium battery, and we needed the safety data sheet for Walmart scientists or whatever they are to approve the safety of this product. Right. And so, but we are working with a retail broker. And it's all this stuff that you don't know, because I'm just knocking my head against the cement. How does this work? And I was on LinkedIn, and I saw this guy, had Walmart by his name, and I asked him something, and he LinkedIn me back. Defilia, you need a retail broker, a consultant, and a representative.
Okay.
I would have never known about a retail broker until he told me that. He said, I'm gonna give you, he gave me 7 names.
Wow.
I contact all 7 people that he told me, but only one particular company, only one particular lady on a Sunday afternoon contacted me back, and she gave me her email. And I said to myself, anybody working on a Sunday, that's my kind of person. You know, you work this stuff day and night.
Right,
and so,
right. Right.
And I don't have, not at this time, I'm praying that it grows exponentially, to tell you the truth. But she had to convince the people who own this particular retail broker company to sign me on, because they were totally against signing me on, because I'm a one-man band. And so they decided to take me on as a client, and they told me, you know, what their requirements were. And I said, okay. So how we supposed to work with one another. I got to get the sales going. And once we get the sales going, they are a mass market retail broker. They are supposed to get me in Target, Walmart, HEB, and on the Amazon platform, mass market. And so I have to generate enough interest, enough sales on the Walmart.com platform for us to move to that next level.
Okay.
So I got to do what I got to do still.
Let me ask you a question right there, Auntie.
Okay.
So the units that you need to move. Well, let me ask you this. How many units did you start out with Walmart? Let's go there.
Oh, not originally, since I've been on.
No, I'm talking about in the last 3 weeks. What you have there right now? What did you
we
send
ship
to the warehouse?
We ship one case. One case is 24 holders. And the reason why we shipped one case, we could have shipped 48, but we wanted to see how fast we could move this one case. So we've been on the platform less than a month, and we have sold half of those. So that means we've sold 12 holders. And that's with me, like, I need you guys to order, you know, go and order, friends and family. Right. The thing about friends and family, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
They're commit to ordering, and never get to place the order.
Right.
And so when you're doing a product, you need as much support as you can get.
True.
And because the more product on Walmart's dashboard, on the seller side, I can see how much inventory I have, how long the inventory is going to last, and they tell you when you need to send more inventory. Okay. They even tell you how much money you're going to make. It's amazing. It's an amazing platform, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
And so Walmart will help. If Walmart give you a large PO, they will finance the PO.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know. I knew that but so if they give you a PO, say for $1 million, they will finance 80% of that $1 million for you to get that inventory into the stores.
Okay. Wow.
And to me, it's everything that we don't know, because it is extremely difficult to keep going. You know, the challenge is, the struggle is real. You know, you're going to miss a lot of celebrations, birthdays, anniversaries, soccer games, graduations. The one thing I won't miss is a funeral, but everything else is fair game.
Right.
The only thing I will attend, funerals, because I just believe out of respect, you must attend a person's funeral. But all of those other and if you cannot live without, the birthday celebration, the graduation celebration, and all of that stuff, I just say you have to think about this very serious. This is a hard journey, a very hard journey.
Wow.
And so, however, it is a lot of money into being a supplier. And we must become suppliers.
Okay.
And so
so right now though, you're in the inventing space.
No, I'm in the supply space.
The supply space. Okay, so you feel like, so you're in the supply space. This is where the money's at, the supply space.
If you could get a product on a store shelf, and I want you to listen very carefully, because I asked this question last week, and this is the answer I got.
Okay.
Based on my research and the numbers from the United States Census Bureau, how many people use toothbrushes, whether they're manual or electric, it comes out to 295 million people.
Right.
On my research, 76% of those people said that they were, would likely or more than likely buy my product. So I'm at 195 million people. If I only get 2% of that 198 million people, if I get 2% of that 198 million people, it's close to 4 million people.
Right.
If I multiply that 4 million people times $20, that yields close to $80 million.
Right.
With just 2% of American people buying my holder. Now, you got all of that other stuff. You got to take all your expenses, your costs, and your labor and all of that.
Right.
However, if you only get 1% of the American people to purchase this product, you still will be fine. Wow. I had no idea, I think it's Airbnb. They had this huge valuation. And I asked this guy I met last week, how do these people get these huge valuations? They haven't sold anything. They've never been in business. Their burn rate is high. And that's how he explained it to me. And, if we have to stay out here long enough for somebody to sit down with you and you can ask that question, well, how do these people get these huge valuations? But let's back up some.
Okay.
So I'm talking to this guy, right? And he says, well, Defilia, what do you think your company is worth?
Right.
We always don't think, well, me, I'm going to speak for me. I had no idea. So I said, well, maybe $1 million. He said, so if I give you this amount of money, he said, so you'll be worth $1 million plus this amount of money. Well, that sounds really good to me.
Right.
I was going like, God, that sounds good to me. Then I asked him about the valuation and how these people get the valuation of a company. And that's when he explained how you get the valuation. How did I come to $80 million? And so we talking, right? He said, well, would you be comfortable with $15 million a year? I said, hell yeah. Who wouldn't? I'm broke as hell.
She sounded like Kaneem right there.
Right. You see where I get it from, right? You see where I get it from. Instant reaction.
Yeah, I'll be comfortable. And then, we still talking everything. And that little voice in your head is that, the devil is always present. I'm telling you, you got to beat that devil back every day.
Right.
And so I said, well, let me ask you this question. Who's going to get the other 65 million if I'm going to make 80 million?
Right. Right.
He said, oh, those just numbers. Don't worry about that. Those are just numbers.
Wow.
People never speak like that. Those are just numbers.
Right.
Because when you tell you worth 80 million,
Right.
the numbers and the research, that's what he came up with.
Wow.
So you said, asking me, would I be fine with getting 15 million a year?
Right.
And of course, I'm gonna be fine getting 15 million a year.
Right.
So,
Right.
and I say that to say this. When you be struggling, and it's just a constant struggle, you really might not know the value of your product and the struggle that you have put together collectively over a long period of time. However, for this particular guy to have met with me, matter of fact, he want to meet with me again. I just don't see a reason to keep meeting with him. Not unless you're going to wire that money into that account and we go from there. But
Right.
to just, your time is extremely important.
Right.
And, he was going to refer me to people who could invest. Well, we could just talk about it, over the phone. I don't need to keep meeting with you in person for this.
Right.
And so I just think that if you can stick with it and become a supplier, and I'm not talking about hair and nails and eyelashes.
Okay.
I mean a supplier where you can supply any race, anywhere in the world. You'll make, even if you got 1%, you will be fine. You will be fine.
Wow.
So
Right.
no, I wanted to learn how things work, how you get a product on the shelf, how things went from China to America, the import and the export and the broker, and you have to stay out here long enough to learn this stuff.
Right.
And it is extremely difficult.
Right.
So,
What's really the information you just gave, the value in that information, how many seminars and webinars you can hold and make people pay for that.
Yes.
And you just shared your heart and your work and your hard work and everything that you've gone through over the last, decade
10
plus.
years. 10 years
Yeah.
plus. That's correct. 10 years plus.
And that right there to me is invaluable. 20 something years ago, I had, it was actually in the late 90s, I had this idea about a camera and a recorder in your car to stop driving while black. Wow. And I got to a certain point where I had no clue on where to go from there. And nowadays they're just a normal thing that's inside. I went to the Inventor Submission Corporation, everything. Wow. I got a little book right here that has all that information in it about a camera in your car. Because DWB was real. And I was like, this will help. The police have to be accountable. We all have to be accountable. Now everybody just has them in their cars. I bet you there's people out there that have so many ideas that you just gave a lot of information to help them unlock that. But not only that, the product you have and the products you will have, you understand how to make that real. And so thank you for sharing that is what I want to say.
Well, let me, I always say it's three things. You can't do one, you can't do two. You have to have all three of them. Discipline is one of them. We must be disciplined to, get up every day, start it, and even if you don't see any possibility of anything happening, get up and get going. And the second thing I always say you need to consistently work on your invention or your idea, whether anybody else or not even you can see any progress being made. You must consistently work on it. because once you stop working on it, that's it. It's not going to happen. It's, and then you have to have perseverance, because the struggle is so real. I remember in September 2014, and the reason why I remember it, because from September, I think 5th, 2014 to about October 13, 2014, my daughter was, Haley was with me. We only had red beans, which is, you know, a big thing for a lot of people. We only had red beans and rice, you know, chicken necks with gravy and rice. I mean, I'm telling you some serious stuff here. But we ate that for about 6 weeks. You know, I'm a baker, so I throw in a few tea cakes here or a blackberry cobbler here to break that, you know, beans and rice and chicken and gravy meal that no vegetables. We didn't have any vegetables. It was like gravy and rice, beans and rice. And we did that for about 4 or 5 weeks. And so until, you know, I got another little part-time job. Now, keep in mind, I haven't had a real 8-to-5 job since 2015. Wow. So I have bootstrapped this whole operation on part-time jobs, selling cookies, selling cakes. So
they're good too.
I know that.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you know, if you get the idea, you have to decide, am I going to keep going on with this, or I want to go to the Rockets game. You know, the Atlanta Hawks are playing. I gave up everything to get to this point. Wow. Absolutely everything. And I basically worked part-time. Every dollar I could get went into getting us to the place where we are now. Every dollar. You know, I know how to cook. You know, I make my own etouffee. I make my own boudin. I make my own tea cakes. So good too. So you have to make a decision. Am I disciplined enough to do this every day? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be consistently working on it every day or every other day? Even if it's just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you got to work on it. And am I going to be able to press on and miss that little league game, that soccer game, that graduation party, that wedding invitation? You know, I have some shoes. As a matter of fact, I got some brown shoes. I had these shoes resold 3 times. Wow. When I went back the 4th time, the man said no. he said, I'm not gonna do it. So I keep these little brown loafers, because you want people to visually see the struggle. I could tell you the struggle, but when I pull out those brown shoes and they coming apart, right? You will visually see it. Sometimes people have to see it. You know, I got a pair of black shoes. I had those resold too. Wow. And I've been having those for 10 years.
So I got a question. I got a lot of questions, but going back to some of the mistakes and like some of the things you jumped in, like with China, because you can't see, you know, it's kind of like you just hope for the best, especially if you've not been over there, don't know the people. You just look at the site and, oh, it looks professional. You know, like it looks like they're saying the right stuff. So what were the lessons, or how do you turn the mistakes or missteps into lessons to push you forward?
Well, since we had gotten burned twice with China, right? I met a guy at the Consumer Electronics Show in China. You must know somebody who know the factory. It's no getting around it. Or you must have a broker in China. I didn't want, when you get a broker in China, you will never know your real cost of that item.
Okay.
And so it was important that we knew everything we were being charged for. It's called a bill of material. So a guy here in the United States, he introduced us to a guy in China. And the guy in China, he researched the factories, the factories that could produce this product. And we picked one that was willing to work with a small company because they are a small factory. However, since we had been burned twice with China,
Right.
We decided to hop on a plane to go to make sure these people existed, because a lot of times they don't exist. And so, but we had worked. Somebody introduced us to a guy in China, and I still have his information. And so that's how we were able to continue to work with this particular manager at this factory. So we deal directly with the factory so we could get the best per piece cost. And we know how much everything they're charging us for. It's called a bill of material. They call it a BOM. Yeah. It's called, they say, a BOM, which is a bill of material. And normally, if you deal with a broker, they will give that to the broker, which is the BOM to the broker. And the broker is going to inflate all of those numbers.
Of course.
So you won't ever know the true cost of your product. Wow. I didn't want to do that. I said, we need to know, when you're doing what I'm doing, you need to know every cost from the beginning when they source the material to build this product until that product hit the United States and cleared by U.S. Customs. That's your responsibility. And so we were able to find a factory and deal directly with the factory because you could get the best per piece unit cost if you deal directly with the factory. Okay. But there was a little work involved with that also. Okay. Nothing is automatic.
Right.
You have to put your time in.
Right.
But we did, at the end of the day, I know people who have products, and when I would call to, ask for information, one lady told me $250 an hour. And I was going like, I don't have that kind of money. I'm asking for, seriously. Right. So everybody that you speak with who've gone through this process,
right,
now is $500 an hour.
Right.
And my thing is, anybody who will be diligent, disciplined, consistent, and can press on, I will help them. I don't gain anything by not passing on knowledge. If you pass on your knowledge, it'll live forever.
Right.
But for me, it doesn't make sense for everybody to have to pay for these same mistakes over and over and over. That's the way I look at it.
Right. So, can I jump in right there? That is such gold. I do the same thing. And, everything I've had to pay to learn and everything I've had to go through, I'll give it away as long as you have those things right there, persistence, diligence, everything else, because our people need to understand this process. And there's so many barriers for our people. When I say our people, those people that understand the struggles we have gone through in this country and everything else, to just get to that point, you have paid with your blood, sweat, and tears, your money, your time, your sacrifices, your investment is what I'm really looking at, because you're investing all this into the future. And now you're willing to invest that into other people where you can see that return on investment, because I've done this investment. This is the return that I've had in my life. Right. If you're willing to put this in, I'll invest in you because I'll see a return in your life. That's some good stuff right there.
Definitely.
I mean, we can go through life but I do understand both sides. I understand why people, say, oh, no, they're not going to do anything. I don't know what the next man is going to do.
Right.
The next man has got to show me, well, what they're gonna do. You know, I can't prejudge that man and say he ain't gonna do nothing. Da, 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 da. No, people will let you. They will show you their colors. You know, at the end of the day, you're gonna see them. They can't hide them forever.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But
Yes.
I mean, people true colors will come out eventually.
When they show you, believe what they show. Don't
That's
interpret
correct.
it. Believe what
That's
they show.
correct. And so, you know, I told my nephew, I say, nephew, they got a thing called Bert's Inheritance. And I say, my kids are going to be shocked. I say, because everything I'm pretty much doing is for the homeless, or the, you know, the people that's been incarcerated for whatever. I'm a little old lady. I'll be 66 years old this year. So I lived a good life. You know, despite all of the struggles, I still have had a good life. And so, but when you see that man under the bridge and you have to pray, Lord, I hope he gets something to eat today, or I hope we don't pass by this man and not speak to this man, or even if he could just take a bath and change his clothes, that would help that man out, you know, or if he could get a haircut, you know. So we walk by these people, which mainly look like us. And, you know, we look down on them. You don't know where your next angel is going to be. Your next angel could be up under that bridge.
Right.
So you got to be kind to everyone all the time, not sometimes, all the time. And so I tell my girls all the time, I say, you know, God has blessed you all with some good education. When dead people spend money through trust funds and philanthropy. So that's how I look at this.
Nice. That's some good stuff. Listen, I got some more questions.
You do?
Oh yeah. Well, because I want to go back to the McDonald's days and meeting with a lot of the owners. What that looked at. We can get into all that. We definitely gonna have a part 2 of this. And then I want to talk about some of the struggles of building a team. You know, some of the things that. Yeah. See, I already know. There's a lot to that.
I'll tell you, I've been trying to build a team for a minute. I'm still a one-man show.
Right.
Yeah.
Then,
you know, one of the hardest parts about building a team, like she was saying, finding people you could trust, finding the process. You know,
that's the big part. That's the major obstacle.
You know, if we could get past this trust, all of these trust issues, you know, the thing about a team is basically trust. And so you want to, if I drop dead today, I need to know, will this company continue to go on without me?
Right.
I do not have to be everything for the company. I need to be able to trust you. Go out there, we sell this product to whoever we need to sell it to. I need you to be able to step in for me if, you know, like I said, I'm a little old lady. Right. And we'll start out trusting each other. Right. But money has a funny way of making people act funny. That's the way you know, and money hasn't done anything.
Say it with your chest or teeth.
I mean, money has a funny way of making people act funny.
Right.
And it's not the money, it's greed. And we live in a world where it's enough money for everybody.
Right.
And no one person is going to make it all. And so with that being said, if you don't set a clear path for everybody to get what they want,
right,
you will not get what you want.
Right.
When everybody else get what they want, you will get what you want. Right. And so you have to be able to say, okay, this is where we are going to start. This is where we need to be. And when we get to this amount of money, we're going to start dispersing the money according to
Yes.
your level, because everybody like, when we gonna get paid, when we gonna make some money.
Yeah.
I've been doing
here
this
all
for a
week.
year.
Yes.
I've been
I've
with
been
you
doing
all
this for a
month.
year. I'm not gonna keep doing this. You got to pay me. So you can't deal with people who need to be paid, should have been paid, are looking to be paid yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to find people that could see your vision
Right.
and could go with the long term. It's a long road. It's a long winding road. So if people on your team need to be paid every 2 weeks, you cannot have those people on your team.
Exactly.
Right. You got to have people who can say, okay, I can afford this, I can afford that. And
Right.
you all work as a collective, one body team. And so it's hard for you to say, well, Kaneem, I need like $1,200. We got to pay this loan and keep our credit up. Get it from somebody else. Now you can't get rid of Kaneem, because Kaneem, you didn't gave Kaneem equity in your company.
Okay.
And so once you start giving equity in your company,
Right.
you cannot get rid of these people. And once you give equity in your company, unless you spell it out in very precise details, what these people are supposed to do or what you're expecting from these people, the time, the date. Once you give equity, say you make $80 million and Kaneem, you gave Kaneem 2%.
Right.
Well, Kaneem is going to get his money whether Kaneem sit on that couch or not.
Right.
And so you have to look at things in that way. Damon, let's look at Damon John. FUBU, I think it was 5 of them.
Right.
And everybody think it was for us, by us. But when I did my research, it said 5 Urban Brothers United.
Wow.
That's what FUBU originally stood for, 5 Urban Brothers United.
Wow.
And so somebody saw something in Damon John that they didn't see in the other 4. And so you don't ever hear anything about the other 4 people.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's all about Damon John because he kept it going. Now, I don't know if the other 4 people benefit from, their original agreement.
Okay.
Because he may have dissolved that company, bought the name FUBU, and it grew. He grew it himself.
Right.
So once you start like giving people equity in your company, they got to be able to bring something to the table of value, whether it's social media posting, whether it's going out hustling for money, whether it's talking to friends and family by promoting sales, whether it's going to a trade show. But they gotta carry their water. You cannot, everybody on your team must carry their own water.
Quick thing, Auntie.
Huh?
I gotta jump off. I got this guy about to come over here and pick up this riding lawnmower.
Okay.
So I'm gonna load it up. But you go ahead. I just want to let you know I was about to jump off.
Okay.
Fellas, y'all enjoy the weekend. Auntie, if they don't give you information, I'll get back with you and let you know another day and time and all that good stuff.
Okay.
But y'all enjoy the weekend, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later, nephew.
All right.
All right.
And so you gotta have a team. My struggle is because I was never able to form a team. And you have to keep in mind that because this is what you want, it doesn't mean your little social group that you hang with is something that they want.
They want. Right.
And a lot of times
they want to get paid.
A lot of times they just don't want it because they don't understand the process or don't want to be bothered with the process. So don't lose no friends because they tell you, no, I don't want to be bothered with this, because that's your dream. They not even thinking along your lines. They still just want to go eat. Like, let's go out to eat.
Right.
It's interesting that you said this is your dream, because other people, they dream about the money part of it. They don't dream about the outcomes and the longevity and the legacy?
Because it's not something that most people think about. Like you said, you had that camera idea.
Right.
You probably didn't know how to get started, but somebody somewhere was thinking along your lines,
Right.
and they
Right.
went through the struggle to get it done.
Wow.
That's the way you have to look at that.
Wow.
It's a struggle.
And I never thought about the equity part of it. Like, it's always building the team, and you want people to rock with you. But it is a giving away of equity if they're really a part of the team, or they become paid, paid employees, I guess, with
What-
you're compensating along the way. Go
You
ahead.
know what? I is in the beginning, it's just best to pay people money.
Mhm.
And now I'm at the point where I need to get investors, so I have to raise money. That's where I am right now, and
Okay.
to grow my sales, and make get to that shelf. I'm at a different point. I need to
Okay.
start raising money. However, when you start giving away your equity,
Yeah.
then you have to listen to what other people are saying. If you
Yeah.
give enough away,
Right.
because they become a valuable and intricate part of your company.
Right.
And once you give equity away, if you make $1 billion, they still get their 1%.
Right.
And I'm gonna
Right.
tell you something that I wouldn't normally say, because I got to get off this call in a little bit.
Yeah. You're fine.
When you go to get investors, let me go back to last week. When you go to get investors,
Mhm.
this particular guy offered me the money. He said, because he said, we just wired the money. Then he said, well, so much money for 15%.
Mm.
So I said, okay. And then when you do the calculation, once you give that 15% away, it wouldn't matter how 15% of undiluted stocks. That's what they call it. And I wouldn't have told you that, but I think it's important that everybody know this. When they say undiluted, that means if I could sell 10 million shares, his 15% would never be divided up.
Right.
In other words, everybody, that other 85% would just keep getting watered down. But his 15% would stay at the original level that he bought it. So he would make out like a bandit.
Right.
And so that's what we don't know. So they got diluted and they got undiluted shares.
Wow.
So when people say that I want undiluted shares,
right,
they saying not only do I get paid first, but you have not watered down my shares.
Wow.
So and that's the stuff that you have to learn. So when you're talking about giving equity of your company, because we're trying to raise money, he said, well, I want undiluted shares. And you have to be very careful, because once you give those shares away, he gets his money. It's like cream of the crop.
Right.
And we're not in these arenas to learn this stuff. And the people who actually know it is not going to tell it to you. Right. So, but I got to get off this call.
I appreciate it. We're gonna let's maybe next week we'll I have Kaneem, can I contact you and see if you're available next week or the week same time. And we'll continue this conversation. Thank you for coming on. Listen, everybody that's on YouTube and Facebook, I put the link to purchase through Walmart. So make sure you go ahead and get your
I got mine already. So thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. Here. Let's go.
We need as many
sales.
They
don't have to wait, like she said, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
Get it now.
Get it now.
Don't even wait.
Thank you.
Get it now.
And look here, you guys can ask me anything, because I want it's enough money out there for everybody. But more important is you just need to know some things, and ain't no sense in you learning the hard way. And I could just tell you, no, that's not the way you deal with China. I got a contact in China. We could do this in China, but it's a grueling process.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. That was good. Good stuff. Thank you, Miss Delphilia, Auntie, coming through,
Auntie.
sharing. That was some good stuff. All right, Kim Rich said, I'm buying. Yes, everybody buy. And then when you buy, share or buy a gift. You got Mother's Day coming up. Buy it for your mama, grandmama, your auntie. Let's go. Let's go. Let's support. This is not only just a wonderful product. It's a wonderful product created by a Black woman. So that's doubly support. Doubly support. All right. You know, it's Freestyle Friday. We're a little after, a little over on overtime, but we cannot get out of here without some wisdom from the dad of the moment, Brian A. McCory, Sr. in the building. My podcast people, yes, he's been here the whole time. I know you've not heard his voice. Dude, you've been hanging with us the whole time. But it's some good information.
No, that's just the amount of golden nuggets
right
that she shared. It's just awesome. I mean, it's stuff that we hear all the time, but there's a difference when someone has applied it and has made it to the other side.
Yes.
And they give you the same information that you have in all your notebooks, under your desk, on your nightstand.
Right.
You know, you got all this information, but it's not applied.
Right.
That's the blessing, man, when you can actually hear about a manifestation. So I'm just excited about the information. There's nothing for me to share. We got it all from her today.
Definitely. All right.
Yeah. I just like that, to me, was gold.
Yeah,
it is.
was.
It is like, if I ever come to a point where another invention comes into my head,
right.
the hope that you get, not only
Right.
the hope, she just says she's about to be 66 years old.
Yes.
Like, she started this in her 50s.
Yes.
She's not like this long-term seasoned inventor.
Right. Because that's what I was thinking
a
at
lot
first.
of times we think because we're getting to a certain age that our dreams are gone or our legacy is cut off. But the reality is there's this opportunity that's right in front of our face. And sometimes we have to just take it. You know, you got to do the Eminem. You got to lose yourself. And some people will get that and some people won't. But the reality is we have this information, these golden nuggets. And a lot of times what we do is we hear the great information and we lose hope for some reason. We get all the inspiration and the information and all the things that we need, and we lose hope because life continues to hit us. But, you know, I tell people in my class all the time, if someone were to come up and try to put their hands on you and try to grab you and do anything, are you going to fight back, or are you just going to let them do it? They said, I'm going to fight. I'm going to give everything I got. I said, well, when life tries to put their hands on you, do you fight back or do you punk out? And a lot of times people punk out. Life starts getting too hard. It's too hard. And I think right now we just got some information that helps us to fight. And that's what I love.
Right.
I'll say this. When she said, I'm already broke. And listen, Thomas, I know you went straight to 2 Kings, the 4 lepers, man. Why sit we here and die?
Right.
Man.
Right. If we go down into the city, they might kill us, but there's food. There's treasure in the city. We sit here. We know we're going to die. We hungry anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get up and move? I mean, one of her 3 pillars, you know, and so I love what she said, man. I really do. And I'm excited about the future. You know, she says she's 66. Look, I'm 55. I thought I was done, man. I'm working more diligent now than I have in a long time because I'm on a mission to do something that I have not done, but do it in a shorter time frame.
Right.
You know, because you got to keep moving. You got to keep pressing. If you haven't made it yet, keep pressing. If you're not satisfied, keep pressing, keep moving, remain diligent, persevere, because it's not over. It's just not over. So I love that mindset. And that's exactly where we all should be. Absolutely.
Definitely. Just text Kadeem.
AD, I just want to say, one of the best shows ever. Not just for Brothers Legacy.
Yeah, this was good.
Ever that I've heard on a podcast, on anything.
Yeah.
And thanks for putting this together.
Oh man, you're welcome, man. I'm glad that Kaneem let us know
Yeah.
who we got. I just texted him. I said, "Who else in your family is killing the game?"
Right. I know Kaneem had the hookup, but
Right.
you put it together. So
yeah, it was good though. That was real good.
Good stuff.
Appreciate you guys. So make sure you guys share this broadcast. I was telling her, Ophelia, that she was hard to like Google as far as name goes. So we're right now at the top of the list. So anybody looking for her, we pop up. So we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. My goal is I definitely want to have her next week to kind of dig further into struggles of a team. She had, like she spoke about the I won't say earmuffs, the muffs that go around the drive-through headphones. She created that and had McDonald's buy into that. So she's had meetings with a lot of the owners. One of the owners that owns 34 McDonald's. So yeah, some big time meetings actually. Because Kaneem, they were just kind of chatting, passing. Like, wait a minute, you don't just talk about you met the owner like 34. Like that's not somebody you see every day. So I want to talk about that as well. All right. So I guess all hearts and minds are clear.
Yeah, except to the guy that invented the zero. Thanks for nothing.
That was good. I was also wanted to let y'all know, like I put 2 subs in my trunk of my car. Only problem is I had to take it back because they didn't have any mayonnaise on them.
Look,
okay.
I just got a question about some states.
What's that?
What did Delaware?
what did Delaware?
Yeah, maybe in New Jersey. I don't know though. Nice. Alaska. Okay.
Nice.
I like that. If you have 10 apples in one hand and 12 oranges in the other hand, what do you have?
What's that?
Big hands.
That's good. Okay. All right. Oh, let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah, we got to get this great disruptive dialogue conversation.
Oh, yeah. So today's part 2 of Pastor McCory's disruptive dialogue conversation about mending brokenness. So catch us today at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nice.
The 2 and 11 a.m. Pacific. And you'll see part 2 of it. If you haven't caught any of the disruptive dialogue, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you listen to your podcasts at.
Bam. John says fruit salad. All right. So we appreciate you guys for being here another week. Well, another day. Brothers, I know we weren't here. Next week, got you all week. Make sure you're sharing, let everybody know what we're doing. We're growing, guys. We're having some great conversations. This is just the beginning. So continue to stay connected to us. Join our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. He said, okay, on Facebook at 11 PST. That's right. All right. Rollins said get 3 of them. So make sure you guys, if you've not clicked the links, it's in Facebook and it's pinned to YouTube as well. Purchase those toothbrushes. Support. And you need some fresh, clean toothbrushes. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Same time, same channel. 988 of someone, you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, dial 988. All right. So be blessed. See how he says, see how you left my son out. I missed that. Something. She sold 6 on it. Nice. All right. So we'll see you next week. Stay safe. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you more. And we will see you in the AM. Peace out.